أعوذ بالله من الشيطان اللعين الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. لا حول ولا قوة إلا بالله العلي العظيم. حسبنا الله ونعم الوكيل، نعم المولى ونعم النصير. رب اشرح لي صدري ويسر لي عمري واحلل عقدة من لساني يفقه قولي. الحمد لله رب العالمين، الصلاة والسلام على خير خلقه ونور عرشه صاحب طه وياسين أحمد مجتبى أبي القاسم محمد. اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد وآله الطيبين الطاهرين المعصومين، ولعنة الله على أعدائهم أجمعين من الآن إلى قيام يوم الدين. صلى الله عليك يا أبا عبد الله، صلى الله عليك يا ابن رسول الله. روحي وجسمي وأرواح العالمين لك الفداء. يا غريب يا مظلوم يا شهيد بعرض كربلاء. ثم السلام عليكم يا أهل الأعضاء الحسين جميعا ورحمة الله وبركاته. قال الله تعالى في القرآن الحكيم: بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. وقل جاء الحق وزحق الباطل وزحق الباطل إن باطل كان زهوقا. صلوات اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد. The ayah, the truth has come and falsehood has vanished away. Surely, verily, falsehood is ever bound to vanish. Tonight, as we have now reached the sixth night, how quickly these nights pass, the night of great remembrance. And we remember those special shuhada on each of these nights. And tonight, I'll be remembering the shahada of Awna Muhammad and the sacrifices of Janab Zainab Salamullahi alayha in Karbala. The Shair beautifully says in few couplets, he says, Zainab na tujhe bhulega ye sara zamana, Islam ko saya teri chadar se mila hai. Islam ko saya तेरी चादर से मिला है. रिफ़्फ़तों की इमाम है ज़ैनब, वाजिबुल एहतराम है ज़ैनब. फ़ातिह करबला है शाह हुदा, फ़ातिह मुल्क शाम है ज़ैनब. जो अली ज़ीनत दो आलम हो, जो अली ज़ीनत दो आलम हो, उसकी ज़ीनत का नाम है ज़ैनब. Indeed, the poet goes on to say beautifully who Zainab is. She is the person through whom, through the saya, through the shadow of her chadar, Islam was saved. She is the one who conquered Sham. She is the one who is the very much adornment of the name of Ali. We have to understand the personality of Janab Zainab Salamullahi alayha. Another shair says, Shariko sabro shahe mashriqain hai Zainab, ke ain Fatima ke dil ki chain hai Zainab. Dile Muhammado Haidar ka chain hai Zainab, Khuda ki raah mein bilkul Husain hai Zainab. How Zainab, Janab Zainab is just like Hussein in the way of Allah. And how She is the adornment of Shah-e Mashriqain. She is the adornment of Fatimatul Zahra, and how she is the beloved of Ali and Rasulullah. Today, as we start, as a hadiyah for the Mu'mineen of Oxford, the hadith about the importance of gathering. But before I do this, one hadith that I always present before, a very important point that needs to be made, that this azadari that we are seated on, this Farsh-e Aza has great status. An alim, a great alim. So Habib ibn Mazahir in his dreams, and he turns to the Shuhada, the friend of Hussein, Habib ibn Mazahir, and says, "Oh Habib, you have reached such a high status in helping your Mawla, in being with our Mawla, being the Shuhada of Karbala that the sixth Imam salutes you. Is there any other wish that you have now? Do you feel you want something more than that?" And Habib ibn Mazahir says, "Yes, I have one more wish. One wish, that I wish I was with you people who do the Adaya Hussein, who sit together to remember Hussein." Such great status of Azadari Hussein. We have to understand what status Allah has given to us. And indeed, this Azadari is none other than dua of Fatimatul Zahra. In Al-Amali, Shaykh Mufid narrates a hadith from our sixth Imam, Imam Jafar as-Sadiq, salawatullahi alayhi. These hadiths that I present, each of them need thinking. Each of them need for us to ponder. What is the Imam saying? Then our lives can change. Then our understanding of this Azadari will change. Our Imam says, the breath of the one who is aggrieved upon the injustice and the oppressions subjected to us, the breath of the one who is aggrieved, feels the grief due to the injustice to the Ahlul Bayt. What does Imam say? It is like a tasbih, glorification of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. What a great status. We hear so many hadiths that Mahi Ramadan, when we are fasting, every breath is tasbih of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Imam is saying every moment we are in grief of Hussein, that breath is the tasbih of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And then he goes on further and he says his grief for us is the ibadah, is the worship. How important it is to understand that our centers, like Oxford and all over, there are volunteers who give their time, precious time, in arranging these majalises, in arranging this relaying of majlises. It is important that we recognize how much grateful we should be to them for enabling us to earn the sawabs, and what great status they have in the eyes of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. It's so important to remember this Azadari has a great maqsad. Continuing with the topic, Ja'al Haq, Haq, the truth, the ultimate truth has come, and Batil, falsehood, is vanished and vanquished. We have to understand the importance of connecting with truth, this ultimate truth. But how do we connect with ultimate truth? Our journey of finding Haq and discussing Haq during these 12 days continues. And there are so many aspects of it. which are difficult to condense within the 40-45 minutes lecture. But how our Aimma, who are the Imamul Kalam, their words are Imamul Kalam, they help us in various hadiths to understand what is the true haqq, and how can you get that knowledge to get that haqq, to get towards that haqq, that ultimate truth. Our sixth Imam, Imam Jafar Sadiq Salawatullahi alayhi, Allahumma salli ala Muhammadin wa ali Muhammad. He says, وجدت علم الناس في أربعة وأول أن تعرف ربك وثاني أن تعرف نفسك وثالث أن تعرف ما أراد منك ربك ورابع أن تعرف ما أخرج دينك. Beautiful words of how to adhere to haqq, how to stick to the sirat al-mustaqim, how to find that sirat and keep on holding that sirat so we do not go astray. And he says that truth, the ultimate knowledge and truth, is knowing and recognizing your Lord first. It's in four things. Firstly, recognize who Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is. Feel Him in your heart. He's closer than our jugular vein. Feel Him. Feel that He is with you at every moment. We have to understand that the knowledge, the tawheed, that connection with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. I talked about Sat-Nav yesterday. The whole Sat-Nav, you could have the best Sat-Nav, but if you do not have the connection with that satellite that tells you where you should go, what is the right path, you'll always go astray. You will go into roads and areas that you don't even know, and you will be lost. So first of all, recognizing your Lord. Secondly, we talk about knowing and recognizing yourself. Arafa nafsi. Man arafa nafsi, arafa rabbi. Mawlaya Muttaqiyan Asadullah al-Ghalib Ali ibn Abi Talib says in Nahjul Balagha, Man arafa nafsi, arafa rabbi. Find out for yourself who you are. I gave you the hadith, min al-ain, ila ain, li ain. Who you are, where did you come from? What are you here for? And where are you going? We discussed that yesterday. Imam says, find out who you are. And then he says, knowing and recognizing your purpose. Why are you here? Are we here just to eat, drink, accumulate wealth, and vanish between the 6 feet of earth? Or is there a much bigger purpose in life? And finally, knowing and recognizing what will stop you achieving your purpose. Very, very important. We must know what are those things that will take you astray. What are those obstacles in life that will make you go astray? We have to understand. And the key thing is to be focused. Mawlaya Muttaqiyan Asadullah al-Ghalib Ali ibn Abi Talib Salawatullahi alayhi, Allahumma salli ala Muhammadin wa ali Muhammad, says, Mu'min, for you taqwa is as if you are going up a slippery slope. And you know your target, what is your purpose. And as you go up the slippery slope trying to get to that purpose, you will slip. And as you slip, you stand up again and keep on trying. Your effort should be to get to your hadaf, your markas, the purpose for which you are making the journey of haqq that we are talking about. And it's very, very important to understand that there are things that if we do not have those four knowledge and connection with Allah, Ahlul Bayt, and Quran, we are going to be lost. Indeed, when Imam Ali was coming back from a battle with Kumail ibn Ziyad, Hazrat Kumail, you all know, we recite his dua Kumail. And he was coming back from a battle. And nearby they heard, and Kumail heard, somebody reciting beautiful Quran. Reciting words of Quran in a beautiful manner. And in a most beautiful voice. And Kumail was moved and he said to Mawla, "Oh Mawla, look how beautifully he has recited. He's moved me." And Imam Ali says to him, "Oh Kumail, do not be affected by this recitation. This recitation that he is doing will not help him." Kumail did not understand at that time. But with respect of Imam, he did not ask. But soon, at the time of Battle of Naharwan, when the Kharijites were killed, Imam took Kumail with him and they came near a body of the enemy that had come to fight Imam Ali and Haq, the truth. He came to fight the truth. And Imam Ali says, "Oh Kumail, do you remember? This is the person who used to recite Quran. But he forgot the Haq. He forgot Quran-e-Natik. He went for just Quran-e-Samit. The spoken Quran, the walking, talking Quran. He did not understand. He did not have the ma'rifah of where he is going. And indeed, to get true ma'rifah, we have to connect with none other than Ali ibn Abi Talib salawatullahi alayhi. Allahumma salli ala Muhammadin wa ali Muhammad. Ahl Bayt and Mawla are uswatul hasana. Quran talks about the exemplars, the perfect role model. And the hadith of the Holy Prophet sallallahu alayhi wa alihi wa sallam, which I'll expand further. But he says, Aliyun ma'al haq wa haqqun ma'al Ali. Ali is haq. You're looking for haq, the truth, the ultimate truth. Ali is the truth. We Ahlul Bayt are the truth. We are the ultimate haq. And then he doesn't stop there. He says, haq, the truth is wherever Ali is. And Ali is wherever the truth is. Beautiful sayings. Do we need to think any further? How adrift we are from haq on the journey of finding out what is the ultimate truth. No wonder the Holy Prophet sallallahu alayhi wa alihi wa sallam, Allahumma salli ala Muhammadin wa ali Muhammad, said, Ya Ali, you are like Kaaba. That's all he said. But these are the words of the Prophet. Similar to Kaaba in my ummah. You are Ali, you are like similar to Kaaba in my ummah. What does Prophet mean by that? By the way, this zikr Ali is the zenith of all mahfil. And Rasulullah says, Zayyanu, adorn your mahfil with the zikr of Ali ibn Abi Talib. So, what does Kaaba, Ali being Kaaba means in the Ummah? If you think about it, this is why every hadith, every word needs to be analyzed. When we look at Kaaba, those who have gone to Hajj and Umrah, may Allah accept their Hajj and Umrah. And those who haven't, may Allah give them chance to be there. But just looking at Kaaba is ibadah. Just looking. You are told as soon as you see Kaaba first time, raise your hand. You are in the rahmah and mercy of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So, if looking at Kaaba is ibadah, then looking at Ali is ibadah. If looking at Ali, a Kaaba, and you have to raise your hand for dua, connect with Ali and say, Ya Ali, Ya Allah bi haqqi Ali. You'll see how your duas are accepted. Then zikr or at Kaaba. How important it is that we do zikr around Kaaba. And zikr of Ali is zikr of Allah. Zikr of Ali is zikr of Allah. And that is ibadah. So the zikr itself is our ibadah. People do tawaf around Kaaba. When you think about it, the lovers of Ali, Muhibban Ali, do tawaf around the personality of Ali. Every day in their lives, Ali is there. If they want to see what is right, what is wrong, Ali is there. What is haq, what is batil, Ali is there. They do tawaf around the life of Ali to find out what is haq. That is the tawaf of Kaaba, tawaf of Ali. And I mentioned the hajat. Furthermore, we think that Kaaba is a place where all idols were thrown out. They were broken and shattered. None other than Ali ibn Abi Talib's hand. If Ali is Kaaba, what about the idols in our hearts? What about the idol of greed, arrogance, pride, ghiba? Have you been able to break those idols? Connect with the personality of Ali. Connect with the sat-nav of Ali ibn Abi Talib, and you will find that indeed, that is the way to find where is the true salvation, where is true haq. The love that we talk about, connecting, has many stages. That love with Allah, that connection with Ahlul Bayt and Quran gets us to stages. And the first stage is izhar. After you come to know and understand the personality, have the marif of the personality, we feel the presence. We begin to see Allah. We begin to see the personality of Ahlul Bayt in our lives. But that's the first stage. Then is the stage of izhar. Izhar is the stage where our heart is now filled, getting filled with love, and we now start demonstrating that love with our voices, with our action. This very majlis we are sitting together is a demonstration of love of Ahlul Bayt and Ali ibn Abi Talib. We start demonstrating the love, and then there is the kamal of muwaddah, the love, reaches kamal. That connection that you have with haq reaches such stage of perfection that the pleasure and the command of the Lord becomes the pleasure of the person following the Lord. Every breath, every stage is radiation. Every stage is for us connecting with Allah, pleasure of Allah. We have to understand that it is none other than connecting with Allah and Ahlul Bayt and Quran we can reach the stage of perfection. And this recitation of Marthiyah, Hadith-e-Kisa, and all the Nahwas we recite, these are demonstrations of our love, izhar of our love. Allah says in Hadith-e-Qudsi, those who try to reach me know me, and those who know me want me, and those who want me seek me. Look at every word of this. And the one who seeks me finds me. And the one who finds me serves me and remembers me. And the one who remembers me, I remember him with my mercy. Allah's message. In khutbah number 95, Mawlaya Muttaqiyan Ali ibn Abi Talib salawatullahi alayhi, Allahumma salli ala Muhammadin wa ali Muhammad, says, those who find the correct road will get the water. And those who are on the misguided route will remain thirsty. Remember the hadith that I spoke about the camel? Look at this Mawla's second hadith on similar psychological thinking. You are in a desert. But if you do not know the road, you do not find the road to the oasis, to the watering hole, you are not going to quench your thirst. You will be thirsty, but those who find that road will find that water and quench their thirst. And then Imam goes on to say in khutbah number 95, refer to it. Imam Ali says, I am the clear route and the road to that salvation, to that place where you can get water. Imam Ali is the connection we are looking at. Every time we have to consider how important it is to stand up for haq and oppose batil. What is haq? We have to keep on recognizing the truth and haq. And inshallah we'll continue on the journey. Every member of Ahlul Bayt displayed the quality of valor and bravery for haq, truth and justice. Wherever there was truth required to be said, our Imams did not hesitate. And whether it is little Janab Sakina I talked about yesterday, day before yesterday, or Bibi Zainab in Kufa and Sham, we find our fourth Imam Zainul Abidin salawatullahi alayhi, Allahumma salli ala Muhammadin wa ali Muhammad, stand up to do Amra bil Maruf wa Nahi anil Munkar in the court of Ibn Ziyad. And Yazid, despite the calamities, despite being tied on the chains, despite being prisoner, despite all the soldiers with open swords, nothing stopped Ali ibn al-Hussein speaking the truth, ascending on the pulpit in the mosque of Sham, Damascus, in the presence of Yazid, denouncing the act of Bani Umayyah and praising Ahlul Bayt, explaining who Ahlul Bayt is, O people of Sham. Do you know where haq is? How our Mawla showed haq, even in that courtyard as a prisoner. And then beautiful words of Janab Zainab Salamullahi alayha. He tells Yazid, as he tries to degrade and says about Imam Hussein not having done his bayat, degrade the prisoners, Zainab stands up and says, Yazid, qid qaidak, do what you like. Do what you like. La tamuhu zikrana. Do what you can. You can never demolish or diminish our zikr, our name and our remembrance. Beautiful words. Till today, it should resonate to us. How many people have tried to stop Asadari Hussein? How many people have tried to stop the remembrance of Ahlul Bayt and the names of Ahlul Bayt? Haven't we seen takfiris spend millions and millions to try and change the love of Ahlul Bayt amongst people? But no, Zainab's words echo to us. Do what you can. You can never diminish our zikr. You can never diminish our zikr. It is so important to understand those concepts that we are talking about. We find that our sixth Imam, Imam Jafar as-Sadiq, and our fifth Imam are called by Hisham a tyrant ruler. And he deliberately calls them when there is archery competition going on. He was trying to embarrass our Imams. And as the archers try to hit the bullseye, Hisham insists, Imam Jafar as-Sadiq, O Abu Abdullah, you take up that bow and fire that. Imam said, let these young people do. It's not our part to take part in these competitions. But Hisham insisted, says, I insist as the ruler. Imam took an arrow, and took the bows and arrows, and he fired them. One into the bullseye. The second one went directly behind the first one. And it continued like that till the 10 arrows hit the other arrows previously, shedding it apart. The whole court was shaken. And then Hisham was angry and said that, how did you get this knowledge? And Imam replies that we are those who have received perfection in our inheritance. We are the Ulul Amr, vested with authority. We are the ones chosen by Allah to guide. We are the signpost of wisdom and haq, the truth. Hisham gets angry, says, let us detain them both. But as they are being detained and taken away, one man from the court behind says, you were very brave to say what you did. And Imam turns and says to him, we Ahlul Bayt will say the truth, haq. No fear of death, no fear of any tyrant. We will pronounce the haq. And when haq is recognized by people, you find that those, even in the contemporary eras, who recognize haq, they are able to change their lives straight away. Not many years ago, there was a young lady, a reporter called Yvonne Ridley, and she was captured by Afghanistan forces, and there she was imprisoned in a house. She was from Britain, from Observer newspaper, and as she was left in the house, there were copies of Quran, and she said, I have got nothing else to do. Let me try and understand what is in these books. Why are they doing like this? And as she read more and more, she became more closer and closer. Having nothing to do, she started reading Quran, but the Quran started guiding her. And as she became very close, what happens next is that when she comes back, she declares that she has become a Muslim. She started wearing hijab. And then when she went to Pakistan, where she was being interviewed by a lady, and you know how Pakistani televisions are. Our Muslim ladies hardly wear hijab properly, didn't have hijab on. And that lady turns to Yvonne Ridley and says, Yvonne, I've come to interview you today, but in such heat, that loo of Pakistan, where the temperatures are above 45, you're still wearing this hijab on your head. Look at the state of the heat that you're feeling. And Yvonne Ridley just says one word. Yes, I do feel the heat, but the heat of not wearing this on the day of judgment, in the fire of hell, will be worse than this. Indeed, we have to understand. And I want to today take through the few minutes that I have for the wise before I go to Masayid. Haq as displayed by the women in the history of Islam. We find Asiya, Zanefir'aun, the wife of Fir'aun. She's the one who received Musa in the cradle and made him grow up. But Fir'aun finds out that she is a believer. She is a person who does not believe in him, but believes in Allah, the God of Musa and Harun. When he finds out, he starts torturing her. So much so that she's made to lie in the hot sand. And she's told, denounce your Lord, or we'll throw all these rocks on you. As she sees those rocks lying up towards the sky, she says, Rabbibni li'indaka bayta fil Jannah. Oh Allah, I believe in you. You find me the house in Jannah. Let them take my life away. Relieve me from this situation with Fir'aun. And the rocks come and she passes away Shahida. And Allah has prepared the house for her in Jannah. Quran mentions that. Such high status of a lady who lived with a tyrant, with a corrupter, with a person who had a very bad way of life. We see so many examples of women of Ahlul Bayt, shining torches of haq for mankind. We find that we have none other than Sayyidatun Nisa'il Alameen, Fatimatu Zahra. how she is the a personality for whom the Prophet stands up when she enters the room. Not because she's a daughter, because if that was the sunnah, then Ali would have done that for Zainab. No, this is the standing up for Sayyidatun Nisa'il Alameen by the Prophet of Allah. And she was a partner in Tabligh, supporter of the Holy Prophet. When Prophet is covered with blood, cleaning his wound, she got the title Abiha, the mother of her father. How much this lady did. As Abd of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, she did mubahisa. Allah did mubahisa and expressed pride with the angels that look at my servant, the ibadah of my Allah, my Fatimatu Zahra. And Imam Hassan found that she used to pray for the neighbors so much. First, then for their own people. As wife, she was confident. She was a person Ali felt. And when she passed away, Ali says, Fatima is that fragrance that will never go away from me. That flower of fragrance. Fatima Zahra's life in obedience of Allah. A budding flower who withered away in short period. As a woman, she sought her rights. She went and fought for her rights in the Caliph's court. A person who had never gone out in public goes out and fights for the right. Goes to the doors of the Ashab. Have you forgotten Ghadir? Knocks the door, trying to do Amr bil Maruf and Nahi anil Munkar. As a mother, bringing personality like Hassan and Hussein and Zainab or Kulsum. How important it is to understand the personalities, the women who brought haq. I gave you role models in the past of Anbiya, but today I want to give you role models, the women of Islam who changed the destiny of Islam. We find Baneen, the mother of 4 that were killed in Karbala. Hazrat Abbas's mother. How she brought up Abul Fazl Abbas and each of their brothers. These are your Aqa. Don't call them your brothers. Hussein is your Aqa. He is your master. How they were taught what is haq. Adhere to Hussein, the rope of Hussein, and you will never go astray. Abbas is being taught by Baneen. And how she gave example in Karbala and even after Karbala. When in Medina she heard of the martyrdom, she said, I will cry on. She used to make 4 graves and then another grave. And she said, oh Hussein, I will cry for you. Abbas is gone, but I will cry for you, Hussein. Indeed, we find Mohsina Islam, Bibi Khadija, how much she did to do upbringing of Fatima Zahra, and then gave all her wealth. The Malikatul Arab died with need of kafan. Didn't have the cloth of kafan for herself. This is the status we find that. But most importantly, we find in the personality currently in Karbala's history, as we are referring to, Janabe Zainab Salamullahi alayha, her upbringing of honor Muhammad on the night of Ashura, how she reminded, oh my sons, you are the grandson of Ali and Ja'far al-Tayyar, preparing them with bravery. Her sabr and patience on many of the family members of Karbala being martyred, many of her members being martyred. But her sabr, because she was asked to do sabr by her imam. And in the courts of Yazid and Ziyad, we heard how Zainab said, do what you like. You will never remove the zikr of Ahlul Bayt. And then Yazid goes on to say to Zainab, Janab Zainab, look what has happened to you. what Allah has done to you as a result of your brother not doing bay'ah to me. And beautifully, Janab Zainab's word should echo our mind. All the ladies, remember her words, La raitu illa jamila. I do not find anything but beauty in what Allah has done for us. This is the sacrifices we are talking about. We have reached the 6th night of Muharram, when we remember the sacrifices of Aun and Muhammad, the two children of Zainab. Let us start first salutation to the mothers of Karbala who sacrificed for Islam. Mothers of Aun Muhammad Bibi Zainab, mother of Qasim Farwa, mother of Ali Akbar Layla, and mother of Ali Asghar Rabah, who lost everything she had in Karbala on the night of Ashura. Mothers were preparing the children for the next day. They were telling their children to sacrifice their life. Zainab was saying to Aun Muhammad, my sons, tomorrow is the day of battle. Your uncle's whose life is in danger. Your Mawla's life is in danger. My sons, if anything happens to Hussein and you are still alive, how will I reply to Fatima to Zahra? Oh, no, Muhammad, sacrifice for your life for Islam. Give your life for your Mawla. One by one, Hussein's companion went to battlefield and were killed. Janab Zainab was watching bodies being brought to the tents. She sees that how Abbas, Abul Fazl Abbas's brothers have been killed. She sees how many of the other Bani Hashim, Bani Aqil are being killed. She turns to Ono Muhammad. What are you waiting for? Why haven't you gone to the battlefield? They replied, mother, since dawn, since the morning I have been asking Uncle Hussein, Mawla Hussein, oh Mawla, allow us to go to the battlefield. But he keeps on refusing us. Zainab came to call her brother Hussein and says, oh Hussein, I'm begging you to let Ono Muhammad go to the battlefield. Zainab, Hussein says, my sister Zainab, jihad is not wajib on the children. How can I let my sister's son be killed? Imam Zainab says, Hussein, oh my brother, oh my Majaye Hussein. If Ali Akbar dies before Ono Muhammad, how will I be able to ever look at Fatima to Zahra on the day of judgment? Hussein saw the disappointment in Zainab's eyes. Her eyes were filled with tears. Hussein put his arm around the two nephews, led them to horse. He kissed them and helped them out. Go, my brave nephews, go and show this beastly man that you have the blood of Jafar, Tayyar and Ali in your veins. Oh no, Muhammad, attack the enemy the way they attacked enemy from every part. Just as they left, they said, Khuda Hafiz Amma, Khuda Hafiz. And then Zainab said, Bismillah, my son, may Allah be with you. Oh no, Muhammad rode out to the battlefield, fought bravely, attacked the enemies. Hundreds of Yazid's men were killed. Abbas and Hussein were watching the two brothers fighting. Despite the thirst that they had, Hazrat Abbas had trained the boys in the art of fighting, sword, and was filled with pride. Umar Saad shouted back to his warriors. He ordered that these two young sons are not just young children, they are the children of Jafar, Tayyar and Ali. He ordered the soldiers to separate the two brothers from all the sides. Oh no, Muhammad was separated. Each was surrounded by the soldiers. They were attacked by the cruel blows of sword, spear spear and dagger from all the sides. Rocks were thrown at them. How much can the two young children take, thirsty and hungry? They started falling from their horse, saying, Assalamu alayka ya Ummah. How would Hussein have taken those words of his dear nephew calling out to him? Oh, Mawla Hussein, as the boys rushed to the battlefield, children were severely wounded. They were taking the last breath. Uncle, give our salams to our mom and tell our mother that just as she told us, we never went to the Furat and we never drank for that. Imam Hussein and Abbas carried the two young bodies to the tent. Zainab heard the cries from the tent. She laid her musalla and performed her sajda shuk. Ya Allah, I thank you for accepting my sacrifice. Ya Allah, I'm pleased with my sons who have given their life for Islam. Ladies gathered round and said, Wa Auna, Wa Muhammada, Wa Auna. Bibi Zainab did sabr. Bibi Zainab did sabr. She held back her tears when she did not cry on the way to Kufa or Sham, and when they were released from the prison, and when they reached Medina, Zainab saw the friends of Honor Muhammad, and then she entered the house and saw the room of Honor Muhammad and those little musallas, and then she said, Wow, Muhammad, today Zainab is going to do your matam. Zainab is going to cry for you. Your mother is going to cry for you. لا لعنة الله على القوم الظالمين سيعلم الذين ظلموا أي منقلب ينقلبون إنا لله وإنا إليه راجعون. يا الله يا الله يا الله، بحق محمد وأنت المحمود، وبحق علي وأنت الأعلى، وبحق فاطمة أنت فاطر السماوات والأرض، وبحق الحسن وأنت المحسن، وبحق الحسين وأنت قديم الإحسان، وبحق 9 المعصومين من ذرية الحسين عليه السلام. Ya Allah, the few drops of tears that have come out, Ya Allah, may they find the place in the Rumal of Fatima to Zahra. Ya Allah, our young ones have great challenges in the Western society we live in. The children who live in Oxford, the children who live in UK, Ya Allah, help them to follow the footpath of Aun and Muhammad. Ya Allah, the Mu'mineen worldwide have great difficulties. Remove their difficulties. Ya Allah, there is illness around the world. Remove the waba of corona. Ya Allah, save our mu'mineen from this waba. Ya Allah, hasten the reappearance of Waliul Asr, Hujjat ibn al-Hasan, salawatullahi alayhi. Al-Fatiha.